I'm happy to go. Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a Leo. I'm a vegan, and I'm kind to animals. And I've been with Diamond now for about 30 years. I was at Forbidden Planet before then. So I've seen many changes within the industry, most of which have happened this year. Firstly, I'd like to reiterate our thanks for all your support. You know, we've tried to support everyone this year with everything that was going on. To be honest with you, it's been difficult at times. We've all been under a lot of stress because we hadn't known what's happening, as I'm sure a lot of you have as well, because there was a lot of uncertainty out there. And also, so much misinformation out there. So much misinformation on the websites, on the internets, on your chat rooms, wherever it was. The chances are whatever you were reading was nowhere near the truth, kind of thing. No one quite knows the truth, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's nice that, as it's turned out, everything is now out in the open, kind of thing. And, you know, we tried to ride this out as best we could. You know, when the situation with the US started, we just had to get our head down, keep going. That was all we could do, for your sakes and our sakes too. As Mike said, as time went by, we weren't sure exactly what was happening with us. The Diamond US was getting sold, but we were there was a bit of uncertainty there. At that point, we decided, let's give this a go, kind of thing. And we gave it a go because, you know, personally speaking, I couldn't function in a real world job anymore. I'm locked into this industry, kind of thing. So, you know, there's nowhere else to go. But for our point, it's, you know, we were very mindful of wanting to protect our own jobs, but also that of our staff. But the bigger picture, I think, and I generally think this, is that for the industry as a whole, certainly the UK comics industry, I do think this is the best outcome for everyone. There's a certain amount of continuity we can keep going with. You know, changes need to be made, we're fully aware of that, but I do think the upheaval has been kept to a minimum, not only for ourselves and our staff, but also for you guys, and also the publishers that we deal with, kind of thing. You know, we're now entering a new phase with the relationship we have with those publishers. You know, for 30 years or more, we've just had Diamond US overseeing everything, so it's made it difficult for us to create genuine, close relationships with the publishers direct, because everything was fed through Diamond US. Now that's not the case, and certainly when Mike and I went to San Diego earlier this year, we met with as many publishers as we could. Same with Frankfurt last week, and we had so many publishers now reaching out to us, wanting to deal with us now they've heard the news that we're completely independent and in charge of our own destiny. And you know, that again is only a good thing for the UK comics industry, and that's all we want to do. You know, we want to just keep going, make the tweaks that we need to make, and keep doing as good a job as we can for you guys, so you're buying more from us, we're bringing in more books, we're talking to more publishers, we're talking to more companies and vendors and suppliers, because again, we've got potential to diversify, and that's all we want to do. Within that, it's not going to be, as Mike again said, it's not going to be a quick thing. You know, we've got to consolidate what we've got to look at what needs changing, and we've got to make those changes that we feel are right when that time comes, but there are some priorities that we know we need to address. So on those sort of things, you know, we are listening to you. We know the things that, you know, the frustrations you have on certain things, and we want to fix them. But all I will say is, can you be patient with us? You know, keep that support going for a little bit longer, because we are aware of it, but it's not going to be an overnight thing, because again, we can't rush into these things. We've got to make sure that the decisions we make are the correct ones, not only for us, but for you guys as well. You know, the catalogue aspect and the order form, again, you know, there are going to be changes to when the orders are going to be needed back and so on. We're looking at that. The order form that we currently send out, again, is very much a work in progress. We're tweaking it month by month, but what you need to remember is that for 30 years, we've had previews created by Diamond US, and we didn't need to do anything. we just had to price it up for the UK, and that was it. Now we need to access all that new release information from every single publisher that we are carrying their product for. And now it's not going to one place, it's going to many different places. So those sort of things take time. We're getting up to speed with it, we're making publishers aware, and the likes of PRH and so on, when we need that information. And we'll keep working at that so we get it as soon as we can, so we can put the catalogue that we put together as soon as we can. We know at times it's late, and it's very dependent on when we get the information so we can put it together. But also, at the moment, we're working with the same amount of people within the department who are doing a hell of a lot more extra work, and the lion's share by Andy and Tammy back in the office, they've been great at making sure that we do have the order form and some rudimentary kind of catalogue to send out to you every month. So, I know it's not perfect, but we are changing it as we go. And the other thing is as well, we're making sure that we're keeping the relationships going with all our suppliers. Again, some of them are now a lot more keen to deal with us. Now we're completely separate and our deal is done, and we will continue to do that. Again, the impact on the UK office that brings means that from years ago, or even earlier this year, we were putting one order in with Diamond US for pretty much everything, and now we're putting in 10, 20 orders from 10, 20 different places. So there's all that extra things that we have to account for, and if we need to throw extra resources at that, we will do too. But I just want you to kind of give us a little bit of time. Just be patient with us, and we'll get it right. And again, if there are things along the way that you feel that we haven't done, or ask the question, could we do this, could we do that, we'll certainly listen, kind of thing, because that's all we want. We want to be able to kind of keep our good name going. Since we took over, we've had various people asking if we're going to keep the name, if we're going to change the name. I know the name of Diamond in the US is, perhaps not what it was, to say the least, but for our part, we're proud of what we've done as Diamond UK over the years, and that goes for all of us that are there, from Keith, who's probably the longest serving of us. We're proud of what we've achieved, and we're proud of the service that we've provided you guys, and we're proud of the relationships that we've had with the publishers to enable us to bring their products into us and out to you. So, we would like a little nod to that, and we want to take Diamond UK into the next chapter, moving forward. It's a big adventure, it's an exciting adventure. Not something I was planning to do. As I hit my 60th birthday next year, I was ready to put my feet up and learn to play the guitar finally. But that's not happening. But that's good. I'm all right with that, I think. But all I want to say is just, look, again, thanks for everything, and we are working tirelessly to move things forward, but it is going to take a bit of time. So just keep your support going. As I've said, we're always very grateful for it, and we're here for you in any way that we can to help things improve for you, and we're always welcome to hear any feedback or advice that you may have that we can discuss with you. So that's it.